Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the Just Face It podcast. Today is May 9th. As usual, I'm the Mocking Jace, and I got my co-host here, Dr. Gur6. And this week we got a friend joining us. It goes by the name of Good. How are you doing today, man?
I'm fantastic. Enjoying my Sunday.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What kind of games do you like to play? What do you like to do?
Doc's my buddy we play with. We play Call of Duty. I'm 21. I'm in active duty Air Force. I honestly just sweat my life out on Call of Duty, and so he can talk shit. And that's how it goes every single day. It's fantastic.
Right on, man. All right, well, we're going to jump pretty quickly into our news this week. We've had a lot going on. Thanks, everybody, for bearing with us. We missed an episode last week, but we are ready to dive into it this week. All right, well, our first little bit is we've got some rumors coming up. Sorry, having some weird technical stuff. First bit of news is we got some rumors of some games coming out. And, 17 rumored games are apparently going to be coming to the Switch at some point. The rumors include Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Dark Souls 2 Remastered, Tales of Destiny 2, a quote-unquote nostalgic Zelda game, so most likely probably going to be like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, and then remakes also of Time Splitters, Foster Fighters, Sonic game, and apparently a Virtual Boy title. There's a whole bunch rumored that are to be coming out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys Switch players? Are you excited?
I've never played Switch in my life. There was a brief time where I was gonna get it, but I was very cheap with my money, and I never got into it. I've played a bunch of games on it before. We got a buddy who brings it into work sometimes when we're not doing anything. We play Smash Bros, but that's like the extent to what I know about the Switch.
Always a good one.
I recently just bought one, and I do like it, but the things on the games, there's not really a lot per se. So like having this adding up to the roster is always good. Just gives more variety. I'm just worried about, like, for example, Dark Souls, how like frame rate in that, like Dark Souls like fighting game, like frame rate's like key, and there's not really good frame rate.
Switch has always struggled with is its FPS. I don't know. The Switch is a lot of fun. It's really fun to play. But they are definitely missing a lot of titles. Or they have this amazing extensive library, and they've done like some good with like bringing back like the old retro titles from like NES and SNES. But outside of their first party titles like Mario, Smash Bros, stuff like that, they haven't really had a whole lot, and stuff that's been ported over doesn't really have the best track record. I think specifically of Witcher, The Witcher 3, where it runs at like 480 resolution and struggles to get 30 frames per second. So
I mean, there's a game on there that just came out, the new Ultimate Alliance. There's literally scenes I was playing, and it runs at 12 frames a second. 12, and it was I sold it after that because like that was hurting my eyes. But
which is a bummer because it's a solid game.
Yeah.
But it's just the hardware isn't quite great. Yeah, my last I had a Switch for a long while, and something happened to it, and I don't have it anymore. And I've been thinking about buying another one, but I'm also kind of just waiting because there's been so many rumors of a upgraded Switch coming out that I'm hoping those are true, and maybe I'll just wait and get that upgraded version instead of buying what it is now. So I don't know. I would like to see more games come over though, and there's a couple on there that would be great. I've gone on rants before of how much I want to see Time Splitters come back, and I think it would be awesome to see some of these older Zelda games
Yeah.
come back over. I think that would be legit. All right. Well, we'll jump on to our next little bit of news, which is Facebook apparently is buying the developer behind the VR shooter Onward. Onward is more of a squad-based military shooter. It's been out for a while. It's one of the more popular VR games. It's usually on the top, pretty consistently on the top charts for Steam VR. Yeah, Facebook has been really quiet about VR lately outside of on the software side. They've still been pushing a lot of stuff out for the Oculus and talking about new Oculus hardware, but we haven't really seen them get into actual game development as much. I don't know, do you guys think this is a good thing, a bad thing?
I don't know about good or bad, but I played on. I'm pretty sure I played Onward. It's probably the VR game that we played. But me and my buddy Gio and all these guys, we played that. That is the funnest game that I have played in a very long time. Like it feels so real, and I don't know how that would impact Facebook, but I'll do it. If I was Facebook, I'd buy it.
I'm just worried that it's gonna end up like, for example, Amazon's trying to do like game developing, and they're terrible at it. They're 3 for 3 in like discontinued like games. So if I don't want them to go on the same track record because it's a great game, I don't want to destroy it personally.
Yeah, I mean that is a little bit of a difference though between Facebook and Amazon. Amazon owns Twitch. They understand the arena of gaming, but they haven't really developed any games on their own before they started pushing out those last couple. Facebook, while they haven't been developing their own games, they have developed the hardware, which makes me a little bit more hopeful, just because they have done outside of Valve's VR system. I mean, Oculus is solid. Despite all your complaints, or people's complaints about like it being connected to Facebook and stuff like that, the actual performance of it is really solid in their push with the Oculus Rift, where it doesn't have to be connected and not having any external sensors, bringing all those cameras on the inside. Like their hardware development has actually been really, really solid. So it makes me hopeful a little bit more with game development, since they have both of them. Or since they already have inside knowledge of how the hardware works, that will transfer over to games. I mean, that's generally why like first party titles, from like Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony, those go so well, is because they have that communication with the hardware developers. Like it's really easy for them to reach out and say, hey, can we do this, or can we make it possible to do this? So I'm a little hopeful. I don't know. I don't know if they'll do anything specifically different with Sam's appearing on the screen. I don't know if they'll do anything different with Onward specifically, but it makes more sense, I think, for them to buy a studio that's already established, that's already doing well. And like, if it was me, buy someone like that and then watch how they're doing things, learn from them, and use that to start making other games. So I don't know, we'll see. I haven't played Onward though. I need to. I've played a lot of Pavlov. I haven't played Onward. It's next on my list of VR games to buy. Heard such great things. All right. Next bit of news is kind of a big one. Our first two was a little bit shorter because I figured we'll probably be talking about this one for a little bit longer. All right. So this has actually been going on for a while, but it's getting closer to the actual courtroom date. Epic and Apple have been in a legal battle against each other for a while, since Apple removed the Fortnite mobile app from its store a while back over cost disputes between Epic and Apple. And apparently Valve is getting sued as well by Wolfire Games, which is the owner and creator of Humble Bundle. This is mainly over basically how much Apple and Valve get out of their cut for hosting these games on their storefront. That's where a lot of the issue comes from. Doc, I know you read up on this one and you were excited to talk about this one, so I'm gonna let you take over for a minute.
Well, I mean, this is going to change a lot, like, going forward, because Apple has been trying to. Their thing is like they try to get complete control. Like that's how they always are, even with like their hardware. But with Epic, what they were trying to do, they were trying to sell V-Bucks cheaper on their site instead of through Apple. There was like $3. It was like $2 cheaper. Like you can get like 1,000 for like $10, and then like but on Epic it's on $8, and that just like started the feud. And then like all this fire came in, and now other people are jumping in, and it's just like pretty much trying to get a revolution in the App Store. I would say hypothetically, or not hypothetically, but like
dude, you can't fuck with Apple though. Like if Apple does whatever you tell them to, like it's valued over $1 trillion company. You like if they think you're fucking them over, and sorry, like they're a money making company. You can't fuck with that.
But I mean, these are too. These like you got Epic and like I forgot which other one was gonna get in there. There's like 3 other ones. I think we're also jumping in.
Microsoft was jumping in on as well, backing Epic, and there's a few other companies that are jumping behind Epic to help support them on this. So that is the original dispute, is in Apple's terms of service agreement. When you're putting something out on the store, basically you have to follow what charges. They have very strict guidelines as far as what you can charge through your app for microtransactions and all that. Epic ignored that, basically. I mean, regardless of whether you think they're right or not, they ignored that. Yeah. They broke the terms of service agreement on that. And so now the dispute is Apple's terms of service anti-consumer? Is it not good for the player? Epic is arguing what we're doing is justified because it's a better experience for the consumer.
I think it's the same thing of like they're both two companies trying to make money. Like let's be honest here. Like the Epic's trying to take the side is like, oh, we're for the people. Like you get 2 gas stations next to each other with the same price and one lowers it. They're not gonna be like, oh, because we want the fucking people to pay less. No, they know that more people will go there and buy it if it's cheaper. It's simple as that.
Oh, 100%. And that's why. I mean, that's why they were doing it, is because they're having people pay for those V-Bucks elsewhere, is because they weren't having to pay Apple their 30% cut.
Yeah, we're dumb,
which means
reptile humans. So it's cheaper.
They could drop the price over all those, since they couldn't. Yeah. They didn't have to pay out that 30%.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's all about them. It's all about money here, and anyone who says otherwise is like these are big companies, monopolizing companies, and if Apple wants to step on anyone's feet, it sucks.
Well, and this is the same argument that's going on with Humble Bundle and Steam. For those of you who don't know, Humble Bundle is a website for game keys, where a large portion of the funds earned for those go to charity. And Humble Bundle is saying that because they're having to pay, developers are still having to pay out that 30% to Valve for those Steam keys, regardless of it being bought on Humble Bundle or through Steam. Less developers are willing to come to Humble Bundle and give up CD keys, which means less money is going to charity. It's not the first time that Valve has been sued over this. I think it's happened like 6 or 7 times, included by Epic, and so far none of them have won court cases against Valve over this. But I mean, it's the whole reason why Epic launched their own storefront a long while back, was because the developer cost was way too high on Steam, and they cut it down. I think it's at, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it through the Epic storefront, I think it's only 10% instead of 30%. It goes to the storefront.
Dude, I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I'm just digging too deep in it, but I hate when people bring like charity into the case. Like when charity involved with like big money like that, because it's almost like a tax write-off. Like, oh, I'm giving to charity. Give me money. It's going to a good cause. I don't know. It's just it's a very dangerous game to play when it comes to that large sum of money like that, and they can just use that as an excuse to be like, sorry.
Well, Humble Bundle has a solid track record. You can actually go through and adjust the amount of money that you pay for that game, and usually they're like $10 or less. But you can choose how much of it actually goes to charity, what percentage of it.
Okay.
They're a true not-for-profit organization,
right?
And they don't do it with just one charity. They do it for lots. St. Jude's, Doctors Without Borders, just all over. It rotates in and out which ones they're doing that month,
right?
And that is a very big concern, is that if developers are losing, they're still losing money every time they give these games to Humble Bundle when they're trying to do something, whether it's for a tax write-off or not, it doesn't matter. It's for a good cause.
They're
going to be less likely to give those games over to Humble Bundle, over
right.
to
That's just me like seeing it on the surface. Like I that's the first time I've ever heard Humble Bundle. Like I've never heard that. So that's just like on the surface, like seeing that with like that's I like I said, I'm ignorant about it. I know nothing. So that's.
I mean, for me, like that's a big reason why I switched over to PC gaming years ago was because of websites like Humble Bundle, because you pay $12. Like their monthly subscription, it's like $12 a month, and you get a dozen games, and usually at least 3 of those are AAA, normally $60 titles. It's so much cheaper than being on console, and it goes towards a good cause. But yeah, I don't know. That's the concern, though. If at least for me, if companies like Apple and Valve keep winning these court battles, is that it's just going to keep driving up the cost of games, because they're having to pay out these absurdly high percentages to these storefronts, and so they have to raise the cost, because the cost of making games only gets higher and higher.
That sucks. Sucks for us, the consumers.
Yeah, which is what it comes back to, is that regardless of Epic or Humble Bundle making money off of it, is it these strict terms of service, is that anti-consumer? Even though that's the contract they wrote, is it bad for us as the gamers?
Right, and no one reads those terms of service. You're lying to yourself. You got 200 pages of. You're like, oh yeah, I agree, and you could be signing your.
Not the gamers' terms of service, but between the developer and the store.
Oh yeah. Right.
Those are the terms of service. I mean.
Okay.
They read those. Trust me, they read those. They have lawyers who go through every line of those.
Yeah, you don't be valued at these types of 7-figure, 8-figure companies that then you don't read them.
Yeah, no, they double and triple check every one of those. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What are you guys like? All right, we'll say silly poll. Are you guys leaning more towards Epic and Humble Bundle, their side of the argument, or Apple and Valve on their side of the argument? Do you think these 30% cuts are anti-consumer?
I think you have a company as big as Apple and Valve and stuff like that, and then you look at Humble Bundle and this other company, like just like up front without knowing anything, you would side with the smaller guys, because if as soon as Apple and Valve get a monopoly on these games, they can do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. They can charge $100 for a game, and we can't say shit about it. And that's when it starts messing our lives up, and that really sucks. No one wants to do that.
Well, yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what the whole court battle is that it's essentially a monopoly. I mean, when you buy, I know, buddy. When you buy a game on PC, like the majority of the people go towards, or they buy it from Valve. They buy it from Steam. Mm-hmm. more people are iPhone users than Android or anywhere else. They buy it through the iOS store. So,
Yeah.
what are you thinking, Doc?
No, pretty much the same thing, but I honestly feel like, regardless, that it was written in contract, so because they didn't follow the contract and they have it signed, I mean, they're gonna lose. Ultimately, I just know.
Yeah.
Like, that's the hard truth. And, which sucks, but, I mean, now they're, like, with Epic, launched their own desktop, EA starting it, Origin, all that. More of these are starting to grow out, so hopefully, like, get competition, because competition's always good.
Well, EA, I think, gave up on their desktop, just about.
Oh, no, I think they're revamping it now, or at least...
They revamped it, and
yeah.
it goes through, like...
it goes through Xbox.
Like, they partnered with, like, with Xbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's one of those where this would have been better to ask for permission rather than forgiveness kind of thing, even if they said no, and then take it elsewhere. But because they broke a contract, I don't see how they get away with it. I don't see how they win the court battle on it. That being said, I said it before, I can't stand Apple. I really can't. So anybody who wants to stick it to them, good. I don't like them. I think monopolies like this, like, even though I have a lot of love for Valve as a whole, I don't like that they're basically the only storefront. Epic has jumped up considerably as a storefront over the last while, but they're still not a big enough competitor. They're the closest to Steam, but they're not quite there yet. So
I think all in all, people are just trying to make that money, though. And that's like, Apple, if they're going to do the whole, try to monopolize Epic, if you think about it, Epic's doing the same thing. Like, it's hard to choose a side when a lot of money is being involved. Like, it's a very tricky case. I don't know anything about it, but it's Apple is a very big company, and they're gonna continue to be big. So it's I can't stand how Epic did the was it Epic who did the in-app purchases for like Fortnite and all that stuff like that and all these games?
Yeah, they own Fortnite.
Yeah. I hated that it was basically like it was like gambling inside of the game, and I feel like it ruined it for me. Or wait, maybe it wasn't Fortnite, but either way, I don't know. Both companies are trying to make money.
I think Fortnite moved away from the loot boxes, which is closest associated with gambling. They're the ones that implemented the battle pass system, where you pay $10, you can actually see what you're gonna get when you keep playing. So I mean, but that is a whole nother thing. Like microtransactions are, nobody likes them, but they have become a necessity. I mean, think of when the last time a game has jumped up above $60. $50 was the standard for the longest time, but it's been 15 years, I think almost 20 years since the standard moved up from $50 to $60, and games have only gotten bigger and more bombastic and more expensive. So they've got it. They don't make money off of that. They don't make money off of that initial $60. So they have to implement transactions the other way. I'm happy more companies over the years have decided to go with that battle pass system, like Epic implemented with Fortnite, because it's a lot more visible than loot boxes, which were the scourge for the longest time. I mean, every game did loot boxes for the longest time until Battlefront.
Yeah, I hated when Call of Duty introduced that. It was, I think it was like Advanced Warfare. It was basically like pay to win.
That was
and I just cannot stand when games do that, because like, you get melted by a certain gun. It's just not fun. Like it's terrible, because I'm not spending $100 on loot boxes.
Yeah. So luckily we've moved away from loot boxes. There's always going to be microtransactions. That's the way it is. They're a necessary evil, I guess. Because the developers still have to make money. People will still want these games supported, but they're also not. People aren't buying brand new copies of the game still. when it's 6 months to a year down the road. So they have to make money still somehow. But at least we've moved away from the random pool of loot boxes. That's no longer a trend.
Yeah.
Fortnite did it very good for the skins too. Like they're like, all right, we're gonna be free, but you want to buy this badass skin, you have to pay for that, and it's a very like mind game ploy that Fortnite did, and I commend that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Epic did a good job with monetizing Fortnite, like in a way that people don't generally feel like they're getting screwed over when they put money into it.
Yeah, dude, they already did like these brand deals and stuff too, like with like Travis Scott and like Marshmello, Star Wars, and they're like $15 skins.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you wanna pay to look like your favorite TV show or movie or whatever it is? Well, but the game's free though, so it doesn't matter. And that's billions of dollars too. And that was very smart.
Yeah. Yeah, they're incredibly smart. Epic is incredibly smart when it comes to monetization, especially considering when you look at the history of Fortnite, it came out, nobody knew what it was. It wasn't a battle royale. They adapted to it. I remember I bought it, and I played it for a while when it was just Save the World. It was early access, and I was playing it, and everybody's like, what the hell is Fortnite? What are you playing?
I
kind of died down, and it almost disappeared. I
was playing when I was playing Modern Warfare, I think, or Modern Warfare 3, and we were like, me and my buddy were looking for another game to play, and then like it was like Fortnite, because we were playing CS:GO, or not CS:GO, PUBG, and like that was like a recommended game, and I downloaded it, and it was like, this is kind of fun. It looked like cartoony and stuff like that. It terrible graphics, and then all of a sudden popped off, and everyone's like, oh, that's dumb. One of the biggest games that was in 2018, 17.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you can say what you want about Epic. They did well with that game. They were incredibly smart about it. All right, well, next bit of controversial news coming up. It involves Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red. Apparently, all the bosses of CD Projekt Red are still set to receive big bonuses, despite all the issues that the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 had. It's something that's written into their contract. They're still supposed to come out with a percentage of the profits every year. But a lot of people are saying, you don't deserve that. You shouldn't be having that.
I'm one of those people.
Your game's going to do well. You're one of those things?
Oh, yeah.
What, can you tell me why?
Oh, what do you know I do not like this game. I'll say this. Well, the game blue screened my PC like twice. And I had so many game-breaking bugs. And so this really angers me a little bit, I would say. Because I want them to fix it.
How long did they have to create this game? That's my first. Before I played Devil's Advocate.
They started working on it in 2013.
Damn. Okay, never mind. But at the same time, though, okay, how do I take the other side? Because it's not fun to just like, agree with. Because I didn't even download the game, so I can't even say like I was in Guam when the game came out, and I'm not. Everyone's saying, oh yeah, it's shitty, and then watching all these like bugs of people like flying through the air and just. So I never got it, so I can't say like it was a good or bad game, but very highly anticipated game, and to say the least, that they generated the revenue for it. Like as soon as the game came out, every single person bought it. No one waited to see like if it was good or bad. Like every single person bought it. So that revenue they brought in, I feel like they should still have to get those bonuses regardless if the game was shit or not. Like they got the money.
Yeah, I mean it's part of their contracts.
Yeah, you can't fight that.
They're their own private company, and they did make a ridiculous amount of money off of it. I mean, just the other week we talked about it. It was released. How many people actually returned the game? Actually, was able to get it refunded, and it was I think it was like 0.5%. They still made an absurd amount of money off of it. and so that's why they're coming away with 6.3 million
Marketing, all of
dollars
it. Like
each.
they did a very good job at like the what's the like the TwitchCon or whatever it is. Like they marketed the shit out of this game, and
Oh, yeah.
regardless or not if the game was bad or good or indifferent, they got that money. And oh shit.
But yeah, that's why people are calling against it though, because they think it was misleading.
Yeah, and I could see that too. And like it's you can't promise gold and you get some dumbass rock. Like that's not cool. And I don't know. I hate when all these. It's just everyone chasing money, and that's all it is. You just got to keep that same energy.
Yeah, that's all gaming, the gaming industry is. I don't know. I'm not a vindictive person, so maybe I'm alone on this. But they've like, and I bought the game too, and I had so many issues with it too. I still haven't played it since it came out. But like they've apologized profusely. They've tried putting out a whole bunch of big patches. They offered refunds. I'm not sure what else people are supposed to
Yeah,
want
I don't
out
think
of them
that, I don't
outside
think
of
they.
CD Project not existing anymore. Like
I don't know. You're not gonna make a game and like you're not gonna make a game and then make people pay $60-$70 for it and then it does and know that it doesn't work. They're not gonna do that. Like it just so happened that it didn't work, and then they were like, or at least that's what I would think. A big, huge game like this that would generate that much revenue, they're not gonna expect it not to work. It just happened not to work, or at least hopefully. Unless if they did that, that's a good ass marketing ploy. Just advertise the shit out of a game, and then it doesn't.
Well,
a game that doesn't work.
that was the whole issues originally. Was company leadership was saying, hey, you need to push out this game. We've already delayed it way too many times, and the developers were like, it's not ready yet. Because they are a small studio. There's less than 100 people that work there.
Yeah.
That worked on that game. Yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent, and I'm not very vindictive. It's like
You got enough people asking for it. You got like people asking for it, no matter how. Like a good game takes time. I don't know about 2013. I don't develop games, but at the same time, you got every single person in your ear asking you for a game, and you're like, all right, fine, fuck it. And then you give them the game, and it's shit. Like this is what you asked for. You asked for the game. We gave it to you. Sorry, it's shit, but you get what you asked for.
I'm still mad because like they honeypotted everybody with Keanu Reeves. That's the sole reason everybody started buying the game, in my idea.
Heck yeah, celebrity introduction.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hype about it before that. I won't say that.
But I feel like that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, it was something. It was definitely something that pushed it over the top. And like even leading up to that game, I remember thinking like in the months or like from when that went on, or when they showed Keanu Reeves up until the point it was released, everybody was just talking about it nonstop. And I'm just thinking, okay, don't get your hopes up, guys. The way everybody's talking about this, like there is no way. Like even if it wasn't a buggy mess, it's not gonna live up to everyone's expectations.
Well,
like,
for somebody like me who's not big into like new game releases, like I hear about it like when I see a fucking trailer or something like that. But Keanu Reeves, like I can say, Moan, that was the cherry on top, because I heard about it, and then I saw everyone tweeting about it, social media, and that was it. Like that was right. As soon as I saw Keanu Reeves, I was like, oh, well, that's probably gonna be a good game, and that's how I heard about it. It's just making the consumers talk about it, and then it got hyped up. And sucks.
I just kept telling everybody like temper your expectations, because I'm looking at the history of CD Projekt Red, and this is the 4th game they've released.
Yeah.
Their first one didn't sell very well. Not many people knew about it. The second one did okay, but still not a lot. Or the second one was really good, Second Witcher, but it still didn't sell incredibly well. And then the third one did amazing. It sold super well, but it still had its own glitches. It still had its own stuff, own issues. They did start off as a game developer. They started off as a software developer, and like the whole history of CD Projekt Red is localization for games. They would
Oh.
they would distribute games. So I don't know. I was keeping my expectations low, and it wasn't it didn't surprise me when everybody got so pissed off.
Yeah.
What happened. But
I
don't
feel
know.
like that's a lot of games too, though. Like you got a lot of people asking for it, and they deliver, right, and then it's ends up like crap, a lot of bugs and stuff like that. I think over time, you give it a little more time, and then they start tweaking all that stuff. It's gonna be like a very like nice playable game, but at that point, it's already dead. So it sucks. It sucks.
But unfortunately, that's the way like most games go anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, what games come out anymore that don't have a ridiculous, as far as like big AAA games that don't have a whole slew of issues?
Right.
It's a rarity.
If they released Cyberpunk 2077 and it was a good game, like compared to GTA 5, like GTA 5 they're not making a GTA 6 anytime soon, and I think solely like this was an example of it. Was like, you know, if the game's playable and it's fun and people are still spending tons of money on it, of like, you know, buying in-game stuff, like they're not releasing GTA 6 until that game starts dying out. And unfortunately, Cyberpunk was not one of the games compared to GTA 5 where they could like, all right, what do the people want? Like, is this getting money? But that sucks. That really sucks. But I think you get what you ask for. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it comes down to it. It's in their contract. I don't think anybody kicking and screaming all across the internet is going to do a whole lot.
No, they don't care. Like, they do not care. They made a lot of money, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. They're gonna apologize and do whatever for the marketing, but they don't care. No one.
Well, I mean, like if you were in their place, and they're like, okay, the company's like, okay, in your contract you get $6.3 million, and everybody else on the internet's upset about it. Are you gonna not take the money?
Right. Well, look at
I would
Cold
still
War.
I would still take it.
Like Modern Warfare. Like I love Modern Warfare. Like I still play it. And then like everyone was anticipating Cold War, and that was supposed to be the game. Like, you know, out of all the Call of Duties, you know, that was supposed to be a very good game. And then it came out, and it was just, for me personally, I don't know about you too, Moan. Like, but it was just unplayable. Like just certain aspects. Like I've been playing Call of Duty for like 11 years, and it's just. You have your expectations so high, like you said, for Cyberpunk. Like, you know, from now on, when new games come out to release, I don't want to be like excited for them anymore, and that sucks. Like, I want to be excited about games.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right. Well, we're gonna go on to our next bit of news. A little bit shorter, but it should make some PlayStation fans happy. Which is apparently Discord is going to be integrated into PlayStation consoles. Sony and Discord have been working on a partnership and is now considered a minority investor in Discord.
That's a good play. I don't care what you say. That is a very, very good play. Because me and we got a buddy who's in plays Xbox, and obviously we're on PC, and we have to, like, he doesn't have a PC, and we have to go into Xbox group chat, and it sounds like you're underwater. And so, you know, every time he gets off, we go into the Discord, and it's just beautiful. Like, just as something as simple as communication between video games is just great, and you don't realize it until you try it out.
Yeah, and man, Sony's party system is terrible. I mean, you got to think about when you bought like a PlayStation 4, I think 5, yeah, even that, they'll give you like an earbud with like a mic on it. Like they don't really care about party systems. So I mean, this saves everybody else on PlayStation, because I mean, I used to play on PlayStation for a little bit on PlayStation 4, and it's just so choppy and crappy. It's like it felt like back live in 360. Like at the very beginning, it feels like that. Game
chat on Modern Warfare 2, and everyone sounds like the same.
Yeah,
like everyone sounds the exact same.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. It's a smart move. What's interesting, I think, is the timing of it. After it was rumored for the last month or two that Microsoft would be buying Discord, and then that fell through, and Discord said, no, we walked out of the talks for it, and we're going to continue to be independent. That this this shows up. Minority investor means that they don't have any control over Discord. They just reap the profits over it, their yearly some of their yearly profits, and also means just easier time for them to integrate. I actually hope that this happens with Xbox and Nintendo as well. I really do, because especially with the rise of crossplay over the last 2 years, with it becoming more and more the standard in games, my goodness, it would make it so much easier if you could just talk to everybody in Discord instead of having to go through the Xbox Live Party system or get on Skype or whatever. I know it sucks for console players because they're not getting, like, even if we talk to them in Discord, they're not getting their game audio. I've had friends do that. They pull out their phone, plug in their headphones on the phone for Discord, and then they're not really hearing their game audio as much to play, but because they're wanting to talk.
So funny thing, actually, I just remembered recently that Sony, this is great, Discord like being on Sony, because Sony on their party chat was gonna talk about their recording all the audio in case, like, if there's like bad language and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You remember people talking about that? And so this will just solve the problem for everybody on PlayStation, because now it's not like their talking's not being like recorded and tampered.
Breach of security.
Yeah, literally they're recording people, and then like they always have it on file. So if you send it in, you can get them banned from party chat.
You better not go back to 2009.
Yeah,
with that audio. I remember being like 15 or 16, and like, you know, Xbox party chat would just shit out on you, and then you'd have to go into Skype or FaceTime to like there was no group FaceTime, so you'd be in Skype, and it's just such a hassle, like you said, to like putting like one earbud in and like trying to hear game chat or it sucks. So it's like, if you just combine it all into one, make it one, it sucks for the you know, the companies, because they're not making that money. I mean, I don't care, but as long as it's like easy for us, the consumers, then do it.
It's all about that team speak. You guys make me feel old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I think it's good news for Sony fans, and hopefully it comes over to the other consoles. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for everybody. That would just make life easier. All right, on to our last bit of news. Apparently, there's been leaks about Walmart doing a unannounced cloud gaming service similar to Stadia. It goes by the name of Project Storm, and
it's cliche.
Yeah. Well, project. That's just a project name. That'll change.
Every name is Project Storm. Fucking
yeah. So, but it's going to be similar to like Stadia and Xbox's cloud services, where it'll stream directly to your devices. Walmart is probably one of the few physical storefronts still around. I mean, GameStop's still there, but they don't make as much money as Walmart does for actual like physical sales. This isn't really surprising news to me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't jump in on it sooner.
So the thing is that hopefully this, like, by hearing this, hopefully they don't go the same route as Stadia. And the reason why the Stadia is not selling is because they don't work with other like online services. So like, you'll play it, for example, let's say you're playing NBA 2K. You're gonna go play in the park. There's only gonna be like 3 or 4 people in the park playing, compared to all the other like games that have like hundreds of people, because they don't have traffic, and like they need to outsource more. So if they actually outsource with like let's say like Nintendo, like they have like same lobbies and whatnot, then it will be good. But if not, it's gonna crash and burn.
Yeah, well, the leaks, the way it's talking about is it's going to be more similar to Microsoft's xCloud, where if you own the game already, you can stream it to your device. You're just using their service in order to do so. So if you already own the game on Steam or Epic or wherever else, basically you would just link it up to their streaming service, and it would let you to send it to your laptop or your phone or tablet or whatever. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's accessibility. Like it makes sense. Like there's no doubt about it, and it's like you said for cross plat, like kind of the same thing. It's like if you want to play with other buddies and play, with a guy that's on Xbox, it makes it so much easier. It's so simple, and it just makes sense. Honestly, there's yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of in this weird new territory where games are being less identified with the hardware you're running it on. I mean, that's the whole point of this cloud gaming, and then with especially with crossplay becoming more prevalent and everything just becoming more and more integrated. This is the way it's going to go. I remember about 10 years ago, I can never pronounce his name, so I'm not even gonna try, to be honest, but the head of Ubisoft, I'm sorry, I'm really terrible with French names, but he said, yeah, cloud gaming, or streaming games, that's going to be the way of the future. And everybody at the time, this was like 10 years ago, everybody at the time thought, no, you're crazy, that's never going to be the way it is. But we've seen Stadia come out, we've seen all sorts of streaming services come out. This is the way gaming is going. I don't think anybody has any doubt of it. When it becomes the actual gold standard, that's more of what the question is, or is just when. But I think Walmart, out of anybody, could give them a run for their money, especially with how they're setting it up. Could give Microsoft a run for their money, because right now Microsoft is the only one who has a really solid game streaming service. I mean, Sony has PlayStation Now. It doesn't work all that great. Microsoft already has the network infrastructure. I mean, that's what Microsoft is as a company. It's all about network and software. But the problem with Microsoft is it's only Xbox games. You have to own it through Xbox, which is great if you're already in that Xbox ecosystem. Then it's a natural step for you to stream it to your phone or whatever. But the way Walmart's looking at it is going about it partnering up with all the various storefronts, which I don't know if that's something they'll be able to pull off or not. It just all depends. NVIDIA tried doing it this last year with, I think they called it GeForce Now, and certain developers pulled their games out of it, like Blizzard and stuff like that. Blizzard and Activision and a few others, and I think a few Valve games too, but I'm not sure. So that'll be the interesting part. We'll be seeing if all these other storefronts will actually go along with it. Sorry, my dog's like attacking me. He just wants to play so bad right now. He's just chewing on my hand. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. You guys have any final thoughts about it before we move on?
Get people to do your marketing for you. That's the smartest thing you can do, but at the same time you're gonna threaten these big companies for them to make money, and that's you have to be willing to put up the repercussions with that. So it's them. That's $1 billion, $1 trillion companies head to head with each other. You just gotta talk right. Use your words.
I hope they make a beta for it like Xbox is trying to do right now with their their xCloud, right? I think that's what it's called. I hope they just drop out to just get to test the waters to see how it works, see if everything's working good. But we'll see what happens. I mean, hey. Your mic.
Yep, I totally forgot that was. Thank you. Well, that is our news for the week. Doc, why don't you tell us what games are coming out this week?
All right, we got quite a bit here. So, start off, we have Hood, Outlaws, and Legend coming out May 10th. We have Destiny 2, Season of the Splicer, May 11th. Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLC coming out, Wrath of the Druids, on May 13th. We have Moon Harvest coming out May 13th, and Before We Leave, May 14th. As well as a couple Famicom Detective Club games, The Girl Who Stands Behind, as well as The Missing Heir, coming out May 14th. We have Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming out May 14th. And Subnautica is coming to the Switch on May 14th, as well as, I think it's a sequel, maybe, which is Subnautica Below Zero, coming out May 14th.
I think it's a an expansion.
Really? Okay.
Holy May 14th! Everyone just releasing everything on the same time.
I know, right?
Yeah, lots of stuff coming out this week. Hood Outlaws and Legends looks fun to me. I might end up picking that one up. But the one I am for sure picking up is Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Those are my favorite games of all time. I want to see a good remaster of those. I've been excited for that one. If you haven't played Mass Effect, go play it. Get the Legendary Edition. Spend your money. It's an amazing, at least on the originals, if not the remaster. All right, that brings us on to our next segment, which is our roundtable question. And our roundtable question this week is, what game would you like to see brought to the Switch? And I guess why specifically that game?
All right, for me, it's Kingdom Hearts because then Sora can be in Smash, and I'm gonna say, hey, I don't care. That's my game.
Fair enough.
That's the
What about
only
you,
reason.
Is Halo on the Switch?
No, because that's a Microsoft first party. But you want to see Halo?
Dude, I'd see Halo on the Switch. I grew up playing Halo, and that demographic. Obviously, it probably never happened, like you said, for the companies. But if Halo is on the Switch, but right now, like, there has to be like a huge game or like a big game that would like appeal to a big audience and to me too, for me to get a Switch right now, because what is a Switch, like $400, like that
300,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, 400. Like, I don't know, that'd have to be a big game, because I already got a PC, so it's Smash Bros isn't really too appealing now. I played the shit out of that game.
Well, I would say, and I've said it lots of times before, and holy hell, I'm spacing the name of it now. Totally spacing it. But the Donkey Kong shooter, I want that over on the Switch. I'm never gonna stop saying that. I want more Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong 64. I don't know why I was spacing that. It's such an easy name. Yeah, I want to see Donkey Kong 64. I want the banana cannons. That's all I want.
Hey, don't be surprised about the Microsoft like Halo getting, because hey, Microsoft loves partnering people. Master Chief is in Fortnite. Like,
Microsoft and Nintendo do have a close
possible
relationship. I don't ever see Halo coming to the Switch. That is a first party. That is their.
Yeah, that's
their golden child. Yeah. That is their golden child. I don't think they will
What probably
ever
stopped me from getting a PS4 was Halo. Like, because I was these games, like, I never switched over to PS4 because I had a PS3. As soon as the one came out, I was still into Halo, and then I just never got into. I just kept on Xbox.
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us towards the end of our episode, which brings us towards our favorite part, the rapid fire questions, in which we're going to ask you as many questions, or a whole bunch of questions, and you need to answer as quickly as possible.
All right.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Question 1. Do you yell at the TV?
Oh hell yeah.
Would you ever eat ants?
No, not unless I had to.
What horror movie really freaked you out as a kid?
The Bloody Mary one, whatever, she's coming from hell. Don't remember the name of it.
How many holes are there in a full round of golf?
9 or 18. 9.
What makes you unique?
My bench.
18 plus 2 minus 5 equals what?
15.
Who in your life do you always make time for?
My mother.
What is the professional wrestler John Cena's catchphrase?
You can't see me.
What movie can you watch over and over again?
Ready Player One.
6 plus 7 equals?
18 or 13.
What trait do you hate about yourself?
I don't know, my hair.
Which English king had 6 wives?
No fucking idea.
What do you fear the most?
Hell.
What does Fred Flintstone wear around his neck?
Bones.
All right, well, you did pretty good, and I'm going to apologize to our listeners because I totally didn't even realize it till now. I totally left the same questions up from our last episode. But the great part is, our guest who did it last week, the streamer Herrick the Ginger, he messed up on a lot of those questions. So I'm definitely going to clip this and send it to him just to make him mad. The only questions you got wrong was which English king had 6 wives. It was Henry VIII. And what does Fred Flintstone wear around his neck? It's a tie.
Oh, no shit.
Just a tie.
Idiot.
That's all. That's okay. That was the one I think made him most last week too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna wrap up our episode. Doc, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, DrGur6 on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. Stream every Tuesday, Thursday.
Alrighty, good. Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say before we go? Goodbye.
DrGur6 on Twitch, YouTube.
All right, and I've been the Mocking Jace, and this has been the Just Face It podcast. You can check us out live and pre-recorded every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and then the recorded episodes, audio episodes, go up live. Should be later tonight. And yeah, you can check out my stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and then most other days around there. You can find me at the Mocking Jace by that name everywhere. LinkedIn if you want. Literally everywhere. All right, and that's gonna be it for us. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.
Peace.